G'day Groovers. Let's spend just a couple of minutes making some homemade seaweed powder. Firstly, you're going to need a quality Korean miok or Japanese wakame seaweed, dried one. And you're going to need a blender with a tamping bar, preferably. Also just a regular blender or a food processor, or even a coffee grinder. You're just going to have to do it in smaller quantities. Now, you want to break this up in the packet as much as you can. Here's a bit I did just before. I'll put some of my seaweed in the blender. Then I'll give it a nice spin. Now, look at that green smoke. Terrific. Now, usually I pack the whole thing full and it doesn't take me much longer, and that does me for a few months' supply. So let's have a look at our seaweed powder. Absolutely beautiful. Completely full of nutrients, ready to go in your onions when you're making some sort of a sauce, in any soup, even mixed with some salt and into a shaker to make kelp salt. Boy, this stuff will put nuts on your balls, I tell you that much. Now, I've got to go see a man about a dog. I'll catch you later. Eating more seaweed is a great opportunity to get some really great nutrients, but it doesn't match well with a lot of the foods we like to eat. Big strings of seaweed just aren't going to be very appealing to most people in dishes like spaghetti, paella, quiche, burritos, or even a Sunday roast. However, sneaking some seaweed powder into our cooked foods is such a smart way to get more excellent nutrients without even knowing it's there. Seaweed contains things like magnesium, iron, manganese, iodine, potassium, calcium, vitamins A and K1, and also the antioxidants fucoxanthin and fucoidan. Not to mention, it's an excellent flavour enhancer. You just need a few ideas on what to put it in. So let's get started. Number one, absolutely the easiest way to sneak a good amount of seaweed powder into your food is to put plenty in your pot cooked foods like soup, stew, meat sauce, clam chowder, congee, and especially Korean dishes like sundubu jjigae and ukgaejang. You can go in the early stages when you're browning onions, for example. That's what I do. Or a bit later in the process. I put at least a tablespoonful into large pots of flavoursome dishes. Number two, seaweed powder perfectly complements baked and casserole dishes like lasagna, moussaka, refried beans, and roasted vegetables. A couple of teaspoons full is about perfect. Number three, kelp salt. You just mix some of your powder in with your favourite salt. It adds great flavour to whatever you sprinkle it on. Store-bought kelp salt is very expensive, so if you make it yourself, it honestly works out to a very small fraction of the price. Number four, put just a little bit in any of your dips, hummus, mayonnaise, or salad dressings. Put less in these, like only a teaspoon or so as not to overpower the more subtle flavours. Number five, seaweed butter, or even sesame seed butter. You allow the butter to warm just enough that the seaweed powder can be mixed in, reformed or reshaped, and allowed to cool in the fridge. This is best with a slightly coarse powder that makes little flavour bursts within the butter. Adding some sesame seeds also adds a nice element. Number six, now call me crazy, but you can even sneak some into baked goods like rich cakes such as mud cake, carrot cake, black forest cake, fruit cake, and even savoury bread and rolls. With just a little added, you wouldn't even know it's there. Number 7, I always add quite a lot to bone broth. It enhances the flavour while adding even more nutrients. So while having a quick look at recipes, I saw it would be good added to tuna salad, and I love this fish crusting. Here's a few tips on making your own seaweed powder. I use wakame or miok from my local Asian grocer. Korean and Japanese seaweed are very high quality, so I stick with those. I just crush it in the bag and throw it in the blender. Zap it for about 20 seconds, shake it up, go again, and it's done. Well, I gotta go see a man about a dog, so thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear how you use seaweed powder in your cooking, as I can always use more ideas. So let me know in the comments. See you in the next video.